lead into you two handsome gentlemen, okay? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Running Your Best Life, the show where we dive deep into stories of personal transformation through endurance sports. I'm Adele, your co host, and I'm here with our coach Victor, who everyone just adores and loves, founder of Mission, Express Your Mission Coaching, and the Iron Edge Training Program.
Awesome. I'm extremely excited to have Ethan Sheffler again. We had him in our last episode, and it was post the Ironman 70.3. He was a little nervous. I was a little bit nervous for him, but I knew that he was ready, and he seemed so relaxed. He did mention a few times that he was nervous, but he could have fooled me. He looked really relaxed, and I was able to take him to the race. So I was making a lot of observations. We're going through the last minute things that we could, let him know what to expect, whether it was in the orientation or anything like that. Some of the last minute check things and not to forget any of the things. And it was an amazing experience to take him to the race and just talk him through what to expect.
Well, I'm really excited because I think this is going to be really good. Ethan's first 70.3. And if y'all remember in our pre race interview with Ethan, he had no swim experience, no real cycling and bike experience or background for that kind of distance. He was a great runner, had a couple of marathons experience under his belt, and he had a great mindset, which we had talked about in our previous interview. He pulled off something absolutely amazing. Now, I've never done a triathlon. Y'all know that. Many half marathons, many marathons. But let's dive into Ethan's journey because I can learn a lot from him where I am now. And he and Victor had an amazing journey together. So let's unpack some of the information that Ethan can share with us and Victor as well on the coaching side of Ethan's success. Ethan, unbelievable. Congratulations and success to you, young man. First half Ironman. How you
Thank you.
feeling? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. Any fatigue, muscles, back, arms, legs, feet, anything?
My quads were a little bit sore just from the long bike ride and the run, but other than that, I was feeling pretty good.
So I have one quick question. What made you decide to take on the 70.3 originally, and then we're going to dive into your journey? What was your initial reason for taking on this journey?
So, from cross country, like we've volunteered for Coeur 70.3, and
Okay.
so that's kind of like made me want to join because I've seen other people doing it, and I've really wanted to do it.
And you were a very accomplished runner at the time, correct? I mean, from cross country, high school years into college, and some marathon experience. So you started with Victor. You had no swimming or no real cycling experience. I'd like to know if you could share a little bit about learning some things from Victor and how he helped you learn the swim part of the triathlon, the biking part of the triathlon, and a little bit into your mindset that would let you lead into the success you had over the weekend.
Um, for the swim part, he sent me like early on in my training, he sent me videos of like different forms that I could do to improve my swimming. And then he also did workouts on the weekends where like a whole bunch of different people came together that were doing Coeur d'Alene, and we did like a swim, bike, and run.
So that was a great support to kind of help tweak your skills, right?
Yeah.
And if I can add to that, Adele also kept in communication with where he was swimming. So I was making sure, like, okay, where are you swimming? Where are you biking? So I would talk to one of our coaches that swims at Move Fitness. Also, kind of was also meeting with him at the swim. So giving him a lot of tips and something like that. So having that support group also helped. The other part was I'm always a big fan of group trainings. So if I could get them, I also investigated that, find out about the bike hub. That's the bike shop that hosts bike
Okay.
rides. And
That
I,
helped a lot.
yeah,
You did? Okay, good, good. What was the best part of that group cycling that you're saying it helped a lot? What was the best part of it that you took away to be successful in your triathlon?
Uh, there's a lot. Um, but probably the motivation and like riding with a group, like how it would be during an actual triathlon.
Right. Well, I know that you did some smaller or single runs, or maybe just one or two people, I mean, rides, but that actually was a great part of the training to teach you how to maneuver through the group and with the pace, correct? I think that's
Yeah.
something Victor was going to expound upon a little bit on training for the bike. If you'd like to share a little bit of some of the things you helped him learn through that part of the training, Victor, if you don't mind.
yes. You mean the group rides? Is that what you're talking about and referring
Yeah,
to?
like teaching him how to maneuver through
Oh,
a
yes,
pack
absolutely.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, having them and just giving them little tips, and it was amazing and exciting to see someone brand new like himself. He's always smiling, as you see, he's always smiling, and to see him ride his bike so fast for a new guy without cleats. That's it. When I first saw him riding with us in a group, he wasn't wearing cleats. It was just a flat big pedal with his gym shoes. So I'm like, oh my god,
that's what I wear.
if he can already be this fast, can you imagine if he has the right equipment? And
Right.
that was a big progress. The other one that I want to mention is having him do these group rides and the track workouts and everything. Even though we were using Training Peaks, it also made it very easy for me to. So okay, I know that Wednesdays he's got the group rides, so I could schedule those the Training Peaks and then just work on the empty parts of what am I going to do with the days that he's not in the group, or what else can he do, like strength training and other things that he can do. But I find it extremely beneficial, anything that you can do in the groups, and then you can always do other little things in addition on your own.
So that was with the cycling, and you had to build up. You had actually ridden the full half Ironman distance in at least one of your training runs. I think you had told me. Did you do that? The 50, y'all had ridden
Yeah.
50.
And
Okay, I
that
think
helped me a lot with the confidence on race day.
that's what I was going to, and that was going to be my next question. So thank you for leading me into that. Once you get that idea, just like when you did your marathon training, rarely do I tell people to run a 26-mile training run unless they have some initial experience, right? But with a bike, it's a lot different because the impact on your body is different. You want to be able to get through that mindset of, oh, here I am at mile 30. Okay, I've done that a few times. Here I am at mile 40 on my bike. I'm starting to fatigue a little bit. I've still got a fair amount of miles to go in a time frame that you may have set for yourself. So that's why I was curious about that. And also with the swim, I think Victor had you swim the full distance for the triathlon. What is the distance? 1.2 for
Yeah.
the yeah. And you had been able to do that a few times prior
Yes,
to
and we did it
that.
the day prior. So Saturday before the race, we were out there doing the swim. That's when I found out how fast he had progressed on the swim, because he outswam me by quite a bit. Once he puts on that wetsuit, oh my gosh, he just and like he was talking about wanting to be in the back of the pack,
Oh,
and I said, no, you need to be based on what I saw. I said you need to be between 40 and 44 group. And sure enough, he was 41 minutes on the swim. It was
wow.
a perfect sitting. I didn't want him to be in the back where he would have to like pass people
Right.
who are slow, because yeah, in our minds, yeah, easily I can pass a bunch of people, but if they get in the way, then it makes you work harder to go around them sometimes.
I think that's a great point, and obviously that's a huge coaching point. And for you to listen to that and understand that saved you time and actually extra effort to get through a pack in the water, right? If you could be a
Yeah.
little bit further front. Now, my question on that swim is you were still in a pack, Did you have to go over and under people? Did you maneuver all that pretty well?
So it was kind of like different than what I thought. There wasn't like people on top of each other, which was
Okay.
pretty nice. And I still passed people even though I was a little in the back.
Now, I know Victor probably worked on your technique as you were in your training weeks and months, but with that open water and the pack, there's a little bit of nervousness when you actually start the race. And this is one of the things I wanted to ask because Victor suggested ask him about his mindset when he got ready to go. You're a little bit of nervous, but you were smiling the entire day, from what I understand. Okay, which I love your smile. It's beautiful. I'd love to have a picture of that smile and say, this is what an Ironman looks like. Post race, not before, but post race, with that beautiful smile and that energy that you exude that I'm really picking up on right now. The key to that very beginning of the race, getting into your position, there was a little bit of nervousness, but how did you get through just starting off and making that journey, that very first start of your journey?
Um, so I started out just like trying to relax and getting my heart rate down so that way I can swim faster and
Mm,
more like efficiently.
okay.
Yeah,
And when you got in the water,
he
so
talked
there
about
were,
deep breathing,
yeah.
doing the deep breathing exercise, and I actually caught him yawning right before he was going to go in the water. I'm like, okay. I felt good then. It's like if he's yawning, it means he's relaxed.
Well, Victor shared that with me, and I'm really excited to hear that because anybody who saw you do that is probably going, "Oh, this guy, I gotta stay away from him. He's just about ready to go to sleep and jump in the water." That's a great feeling, a great mindset too. I'm relaxed. I'm ready to start my journey. I've got all the energy now focused on what my body needs to do, and not stressing out the mental nervousness that that a mindset that's not really ready to start can hold you back a little bit from being successful in that first leg of the triathlon. I heard also, Victor, you said that he was passing you on the swim. I heard he started to pass you on some of the training bike rides as well. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. He's officially outpaced me on everything. Well, he was always a faster runner, but uh,
Right, right.
he's a faster on everything now. He's
Okay.
definitely.
Now you got to take into consideration there's an age factor there too, but a very successful endurance athlete that's coaching you as well. So I think that's exciting. Let me ask Victor a quick question. With the Iron Edge community and Team Blaze, you've already shared with us, Ethan, about the benefit of the group rides, swims, runs, and all the support. Is there another part of their influence that helped you become successful through your first Ironman, half Ironman? The
Is
things
there
from the community.
one influencer or
What other things helped you besides actually just being in the group? What other things did they contribute as a community to your success?
so from the bike hub, I actually had one person give me a pair of cleats and clip pins.
That's a nice. That's great. You had to learn how to flip them in and out, right?
You know,
Yeah,
one of the things he kept mentioning the day of the race or the day before the race, and even the morning of, was how many people were there to support him because
Good.
he had the Team Blaze, which is our triathlon club. He had the Iron Edge group, which is quite a few of us. And he also had his high school cross country. He had
Right.
his family volunteering. His mom and dad were volunteering. So all throughout the race, he had a lot of fans.
Yeah. You have. Could you hear them when they were cheering for you? Did you know where they were along the
yeah,
route? Yeah. That's that is such an energy boost, isn't it? Don't you feel?
yeah.
Oh, Ethan, somebody calling your name and knowing who it is. That's got to
It
be.
also helped to have Team Blaze right there at the start because they could like calm my nerves and like get me ready for the race.
That's probably one of the biggest contributions from a community. Not only the skills and the time on the in the water, time on the bike, time on the road together, people are obviously supporting each other, but just the fact that you know they're there just for you, allowing you the opportunity to be successful, and they can handle everything else. Give you that encouragement, give you that support. The training's already done. This is now, as we call down south, it's Line-Ep, which is extra, you know. Um, One of the things I wanted to ask Victor, because I wanted his perspective on you, how he saw you from the outside as your coach. What stood out about your performance? I know that your times have been great, but what stood out the most to you, Victor, about Ethan's ability to achieve such a successful first half Ironman?
Several things. One is his smile, like, because I was wondering, will he? I always see him smiling. It's like, will he be able to maintain that smile after a 56-mile bike? And sure enough, every time we saw him, he was smiling. He was having a great time. The, the other thing that stands out to me is how coachable he was. I was afraid that I was going to have a hard time slowing him down to a nice, reasonable pace so he wouldn't blow up or overtrain. But every time we would set paces for his races that weren't his A races, he maintained a really nice, disciplined pace.
Good.
And I think that was a big contributor to his success and being able to stay away from injury.
Well, and that was going to be a question that I had, because we talked about that last week prior to the race, that you really did stay injury free. And a lot of that has to do with keeping that pace in the training a little bit slower than what you actually can do on race day, and not overtaxing the body, not over fatiguing the body, doing the things that the coach and the community events helped you learn along the way, since it was your first half Ironman, and obviously there was experience out there. Ethan, I have a question. What did you learn, like a really top experience? What did you learn about yourself in going through the journey and accomplishing a goal that you set for yourself? A very, very difficult and intentional goal. What did you learn about yourself? This is a
I
good one.
mean, I guess that you can do anything if you set your mind to it.
Good. I like that. Now, y'all, to our viewers, y'all got to remember something. I'm old. Victor's not as old as me, but we're talking to a young man who's 21, not quite 22, coming 22 in September, I think. Is that what you told
In
me?
October.
In October. Okay. So y'all got to remember, everybody out there, this is a very lofty achievement for a very young man. There's a lot of people who won't even attempt to do this coming out of college. They're focusing on other things. He took advantage of having experience as a runner, meeting people like Victor, and taking the opportunity to lead by the example and learn from others. So everyone out there, his biggest takeaway that he learned about himself: you can go and achieve anything you set your mind to. That's a 21-year-old speaking. That's maturity, that's discipline, that's courage. And I got to commend Ethan for taking advantage of the opportunity presented, getting the coaching, getting the community support and coaching, and making what you just said. I want to do it. I'm going to make it happen. Ah, whew, y'all take that away, write it down, put it in your quote box. So I wanted to ask Victor to share a little bit about his experience from the opposite side and his perspective as your coach, what he brought to the opportunity and the success that you achieved, but also as part of Iron Edge and Team Blaze, and incorporating all those people as well to help you. And y'all go back and forth and share some of that with me.
Yeah, I was just amazed at the collaboration of our Team Blaze Triathlon Club, of all the coaches involved, and how it's like raising a kid. And you know what they say: it takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village to become better athletes. It really helps to have the support of the community, the support of other coaches, and that you start to learn. It was a learning experience for me to continue to ask for that collaboration. You remember we've had quite a few coaches even in our podcast, and they all contributed in their own way. Even I saw Eric Garcia,
You
no,
did?
Marcus
Okay.
Garcia, he was at the race. He actually did the race.
Marcus
And just
did?
remember,
And he's old,
Marcus, yes.
Ethan. He's old.
Yeah. Yeah, he did really well. He looked strong, and it just reminds me of how far you can go with collaborating with other people and really having that support and
Mhm.
encouraging each other. And just how amazing Ethan was, how coachable, how he listened and he has a smile always. And yeah. Um,
I think the fact that Ethan, and you can share a little bit more on this concept, but I think the fact that you had that sense of relaxation at the beginning, your smile was contagious. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who did not feel like smiling, but also to finish with joy and injury free. You did the right and best training program in that 3 month period. I think that you've been working with Victor and the team. Um, that's a huge learning experience for you going forward if you choose to do another Ironman, half Ironman, maybe some more marathons. But for the young people from your school that saw you succeed in this way, do you have any messages for them, especially if they might be encouraged to take on this kind of journey because they watched you do it just as you watched other people? Do you have any messages you can maybe share with them that as we go along, and also share with our viewers as well?
I mean, I would say that the same thing that Victor has said, that the cult, the people around you make the difference. I could
Yeah.
not have. I don't think I could have like trained as good as I did without Team Blaze or the Iron Edge program.
Yeah, and I agree with you. So, really, for the young people from your high school that came out, they saw you, who was there just a few years ago. Do you think that you would be interested in encouraging some of those young men and women, I would assume, to maybe take on this kind of a goal down the road, maybe around your age, even a little bit older, if you're around, to encourage them and maybe help them find a way to do it using Victor as a wonderful coaching and the community as a support group?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, I bet a couple of them are going to follow you in your footsteps. I really do. Because obviously they wouldn't have been there if they didn't care enough about being there to support you, right? I really believe that. I really
Yeah.
do. So I want to just ask Victor to share a couple of other things about the training. And one of the biggest questions would be, how do you encourage someone like Ethan, who came in pretty fearless, but someone that might not be quite as fearless or maybe a little experience on marathons as Ethan? What can y'all offer to them, and you, Victor, as a coach, to maybe persuade them to follow their dream to train and complete a half Ironman and or an Ironman at some point?
I think the encouragement, the letting them know, this is very possible. There are all the possibilities that is in front of them, and that, taking just baby steps, that it's not all about going fast all the time. That was my perception when I started. It's like, I got to work hard. I got to put in all, and learning that it takes discipline even to slow down. And
Yeah.
that's why we came up with one of my favorite mantras is slow is smooth, smooth is fast, because 80% of our workouts are in zone 2, and
Mhm.
only 20, maybe sometimes even less, is in higher zones where
Right.
we're working really hard. And I
Yeah.
think that works really great when you are trying to stay injury free. And yeah, and also just I want to thank all the coaches who are also collaborating with me. Derek Garcia, um, Jim Breidenbach, James Gable, yourself, Adele. Thank you. Everybody who's helped me with the Ironman program. I'm really grateful for.
I think that speaks a lot for going forward, Ethan. Any of your suggestions and a testimony in some ways when you're out there with a group ride or a group swim or a group run again, and somebody says, "Hey, Coach Victor helped you, and the team plays and the Iron Edge. What do I need to do to get in that group? What do I need to do to find a way to do what you did, Ethan? You've encouraged me, you've inspired me. So if I come up to you and I'm one of those high school kids that says, "Oh, Ethan, I gotta do it," what would be the first thing you would tell them to do?
Then like join a community.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
And
I
call
was
Victor.
wondering,
Call Victor.
I was wondering, have any of your siblings interested in doing triathlons after they saw you doing it?
I actually inspired my youngest brother to do a sprint triathlon.
Oh,
Great,
awesome. Good, good.
great.
Is he doing
How old is he?
Diamond?
How old is he?
What?
High school or
He
college? Or
he is a he's well he just finished a freshman year
high school or college?
in high school.
Oh, was he like 15,
Yeah.
14 or 15? Victor, you got this?
Yeah.
What's happening?
He's gonna pass you probably. Eventually.
The key would be the biggest thing I think you could offer to your younger brother. Obviously, the training, the opportunity to use an incredible coach like Victor and the team behind it. But I think the biggest thing you could offer him, and this is strictly from my point of view, is the smile throughout the event. Regardless of how you're feeling, just keep smiling because you're on a journey to achieve a dream. That's the one thing you can probably share with your brother more than anything else because y'all are bonded already. And then, obviously, going through the physical part of the training and starting and finishing that race. I think that's absolutely amazing. I would offer one thing to both of you. I am so impressed to see the success of. Obviously, I love Victor to death. I said that to you last time when we met, Ethan. But I know what he's made of in his desire to see a client succeed. I know what he wants to help that client find from the beginning of that race to the crossing the finish line. You are a prime and perfect example of him being rewarded for his efforts and his time, but also his true heart and compassion about you, not as a coach, not about anything else involved, but because he cares about you. And he and I have shared that, off camera and talking about things that you were doing. But my perspective is that's what it takes to be an incredible coach. You can use all the training peaks and all the AI programs and all the specific things down on paper, but because of his heart and desire for you as an athlete and a client and as a human being to succeed and achieve that dream, that's the heart of Victor. That needs to be brought to more of the community. And I think you becoming successful in your journey and being part of his community is just one of those things that you can bring him out to other people that can share the joy that you are sharing now in your accomplishment. And you, young man, I am incredibly impressed. The smile and the dimples, they just don't stop. And I
He's
would
the
want,
he's the ideal client. He's the ideal. He's got the best attitude, always motivated, always inspired, and he's ready to go an extra mile every time. We have to tell him, no, that's enough for today. He
right,
still
yeah,
has to do
yeah.
laps.
Go home and drink, eat, and rest. Please come do it again tomorrow. And I think that that's just a huge opportunity for you to look at yourself in the mirror. Next time you go brush your teeth tonight before you hit your knees and say, "Thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity and the people that surrounded me to help me be successful." Look at who's in that mirror. You're a champion. And I think you can forever hold on to that concept. So I'm going to turn it over to Victor. I know he wants to close out with some comments about the program. And Ethan, again, I hope to see you again, maybe when you do that sprint with your brother.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in this. And I want to say that for anyone who wants to start a triathlon and hasn't, and maybe is afraid or scared of the water, I have a challenge coming up on July 15th. I'm going to start a challenge that covers the mindset that we need to overcome a lot of those fears and be confident in signing up for a triathlon. And if there's any questions that anybody has, whether it's with the training program, whether it's with technical stuff like the bikes, they can always ask me. If I don't have the answers, I will get it for them.
Mhm.
And that's it. I look forward. I'm going to continue to have also other participants of the Iron Edge who
Okay.
want to share their experience and have different backgrounds. They have different goals. And I think that's going to make it really exciting to share from everyone and different perspectives, because not all my clients are young and, and with that kind of energy like Ethan, but everybody can do it if they set their minds. And that's something that he's always told me too, because I've shared with him some of my clients' goals and stuff, and he really always believes that you can accomplish anything if you set your mind to it.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway from that Ethan can share with all of our viewers. Victor, I did want to ask you, make sure that you mention any programs you have coming up and how they can contact you and express your mission and your Iron Edge. Anything else that's coming up before we sign off?
Yes, one of those is that challenge I mentioned, and anything
Okay.
else that is coming up, I will put it on the show notes from the podcast or on the YouTube video,
Okay,
and
good.
they can just go to the links and get that information.
Okay, and if anybody needs Ethan's autograph, just make sure that you have a big smile when you ask him, "Hey, Ethan, you're a champion. Can I have your autograph?" Congratulations to you, young man. I'll see y'all again
Thank you.
soon. Victor, thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys.